Okay, so what we're going to do is, since I can't figure it out, I'm just going to call your names. So everybody just say their name and where they are, and then we'll get right in it. Who wants to start? Nikki, you start.
Sure, yes. I'm Nikki Gangemi, and I'm in the U.S. in New Jersey.
Okay, Debbie?
I'm Debbie Sodergren, and I'm in Connecticut.
Geraldine?
I am in the U.S. I'm in Florida and Palm Coast.
Leslie?
I'm in the U.S. I'm in the Libertyville, which is near Chicago.
I like your haircut.
Oh, thank you.
Kathleen?
I am in Madison, New Jersey.
You're in New Jersey too?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Oh, good. Nikki's in New Jersey. I was just saying that he was so close to Boston. I was wrong. Green, where are you?
I am in Cape Coral, Florida.
Okay, and there's 9 people. Is there somebody that I'm missing? Because I can't see anybody else.
Christine.
Yes, Christine.
So I'm Christine Jobin, and I'm in Madison, Alabama.
You look so pretty.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, now everybody mute.
Mute.
Okay, here we go. I'll get this will probably be screwed up a few times, but don't worry. It's not a big deal. Now, yeah, I love it that I don't know how to do things. Somebody goes, that makes you human. And I'm like, yeah, that's right. I'm so human. Okay. Okay, there's that. I'm just going to go like this because I can't figure it out. Okay, so here we are. And I was just telling Geraldine before everybody got on the call that this is meant to be a fun experience. It's not meant to be a stressed out, I'm not going to be able to be there on time, I'm missing it, when's it going to be? And, you know, and we all have different personalities. And most of you that know me, some of you know me pretty well because you've been a member of Project Positive Change for a while and you just know me, or you might just be like, I know she's a little bit nuts. But the thing is that the higher your vibration, the better you are at manifesting anything. And if you want to be in a high vibration and you want to manifest more money, then you have to be in a space of high vibration. So if you're constantly worrying about one thing or another, then you can't expect to have anything good that you want come your way, much less money or abundance. And so this is not a time to be all uptight. And I mean, I'm not uptight. And I don't want you guys to be worried or, you know, I just want you guys to try to have fun. And Nikki can tell you, I mean, she's been in the first course and Richard has too, but Nikki's been on almost every call. And the goal is really just to find a little freedom around your ideas about money, because the more uptight you are, the less money you're going to make. And when you get, and I think you all probably know this, but it still sometimes happens, of course. And I've already told you my story several different times, but I'm just going to tell you again, just to let you know, and this is the judge, because I'm preparing for my wedding judge. And I also have the wedding dress. And evidently this bride was very bad because her head's gone. See, she was so bad that I took my tiny gavel and I destroyed her. Anyway. Just a little fun to get us started. So when I came up with this program, because I don't want anybody to think, oh, Lee's got money, or she's a lawyer, or this or that or whatever. What happened was I was at my event, Possibilities in Paradise, and they double charged me for a venue. And it was around, I think it was at least $800 or $900. The charge was like $1,840. And that was the double charge. And I didn't have the money to pay it. And I was in the room with a few people. And one of the people, I didn't really know her. I'd only met her once before. And she's like, I feel like you're worried about something. You know, you guys are really good. Like empathic people are like, can pick things up, right? And she said, I think you're worried about money. And I told her what had happened. And she said, I'm going to pay this for you. I'm going to give you the money and you can pay me back, you know, whenever. Paid her back the next week. But the thing is that I was on total broke, and I was there with 30 or so people expecting me to run the thing. I didn't want to tell Jonathan. I was so ashamed. Jonathan was my partner. I was so embarrassed. I was so ashamed, and I felt like I had let myself down. I mean, you know, having to borrow them, I knew that everybody there probably would have said, I'll lend you the money. But think about how embarrassing that is, and how much shame that, you know, and the fact that I was that low on money, that I was that broke. So I came back and I cashed out all my retirement funds. I had like 3, I cashed them all out. And I told this on the webinar, I even cashed out my niece's college funds. I've since put the money back. But I was like completely in a space of, I don't know how I'm gonna make it, because I have all these responsibilities at the office, and then I have all these responsibilities with Project Positive Change, and I have my own personal debt, and I was just floundering. So wherever you are, don't let whatever you think about me prevent you from making more money, or let you think, and I don't think you are, because you're here. But I've heard, sometimes I was in a group and somebody was like, oh, she's a lawyer, or she's got this, or she's got that. None of that is why I have money. And I talked to another legal consultant recently, and he goes, oh my God, lawyers that are family lawyers don't make this much money. And I said, I know, but I've been doing this little manifesting thing. So and I don't want you to compare yourself, not to me, not to anybody, because we're all in different places. And one of the first rules, and Nikki's going to hear everything she's heard before and some extra stuff. The very first rule is you set your number when we start thinking about how much you want to create at something that your energy and your reality can catch up to. And when I started, I was making around $7,000, $6,000 a week. And I started figuring I have to make $10,000 to make our expenses. Have to make $10,000 a week. And that's when I started this process, learning this process. And it wasn't until about a month had gone by, or longer, maybe 2 or 3 months, when Tiffany goes, why are you setting your goal so low? Because week after week, it was just happening. Things were just falling into place, and my money goal was happening. And she said, why is it so low? And so then I went up a little bit. I didn't go up 20,000. I went up to about maybe 13 to 15. Then I felt a little more comfortable then, and then I went up some more. So don't start in a place that you've never ever done, that you've never made that much money in your life, that, you know, it's so far out of your realm, because the energy and the reality, it has to take time to catch up. I couldn't immediately go, I'm going to manifest a Lamborghini. Well, I probably could if that's where my mind and energy was, but it takes time for your vibration to rise to that place. Like, for instance, I could never have imagined making over $1 million. Never. In fact, I remember talking to Jonathan once, and he was like, I'm going to be a millionaire, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you don't think that I am, do you? And this is like, I don't know, 5 years ago. And he goes, no, you know, I think you could, whatever. And I didn't think I could. And when I went to the accountant yesterday, and he goes, oh my God, he was just stunned that I was, because the last tax return was around 500. And then he goes, you made 800,000. And I was just thinking to myself, wait till you see next year's. You made 1.2. Oh my God. And he was just like, but I didn't get there overnight. And so and I'm not somebody, I know there are coaches that are, I'm going to teach you how to make $10,000 in 90 days. I'm not going to teach you that. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It's not a money on demand. It's teaching you the same lessons that I do again and again and again to get there. This is not meant to be something that's going to be over in 4 months and then you're going to magically have money. It's going to be a way for you to use these tools to step and gradually get yourself to where you want to be. Same basic principles. We're just going to you just do them over and over again till you're at that place. Does everybody understand? Everybody with me? Everybody with me? Yeah. Because one thing that I noticed in the first group is somebody said, I haven't had any of my money goals. And it was something like, I don't know, it was big. It was like, and I said, have you ever made that much money? No. How much is the most you've ever made? $1,500 a month. And I'm like, you're not going to make $10,000 in a week. I mean, that's not something that energetically, I mean, could it happen? Yes. Yes. But your vibration is not there yet. I mean, you guys get it, but I still saw people doing it. And that's why we're going over a little more than I did the first time, because people still seem to be going, okay, I want to make 10,000 this month. Okay, well, let's work up to that, because it's about vibration. And your vibration, and this is something I've heard Abraham Hicks say before, you know, it takes a while for the energy to reach you, for the energy and the reality to match. I'm not a big science, and I'm sure some of you can probably explain this a lot better than me. I'm not, you may be thinking, okay, she's wrong about that. I'm loosey-goosey when it comes to all of this, but it doesn't matter because it works. You don't you know, the law of attraction it doesn't matter if you believe it. It doesn't matter what you say about it, because it's not about us. It's about energy, and it's about our vibration. So the reason why I have you do this exercise about money coming in is because I want you to be in a place of money comes easily. And Debbie said, but if it's not coming from my job, then I can't count it. Well, this is not to say that you're going to do these things on the list. The reason we're doing this is to get in the state of mind that money can come from everywhere. Money can come from, like Melissa has been selling fruit, or, you know, and she's making money that she's never made selling, I think it's grapefruit. And things are falling into place and money's coming, because you've got to get the idea that the money's coming in, because this is what we think about. My mortgage is due. I don't have any money. My credit cards are late. I don't have enough money to take my family on vacation. I can't afford this expensive dinner with my friends. I know, because that's what I used to do. I used to be like, how am I going to pull this off? But I always managed. But, you know, we're in such a place of all the things that we have to pay that we're not thinking about all the ways money can come in. So we've got to flip that switch. And we're trained to think about all the money going out. And I used to make lists and lists and lists and lists of all the money going out. I would make a new list. Okay, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do this. But I wasn't also looking at how money was coming in. I was so focused on the money running out the door that I wasn't focused on the money coming in. And so it's really just, it seems so, like Amy Baker said, this seems so simple. And it is, they are simple principles, but we don't think that way. Most of the time we're in a space of, I've got to pay this. I don't have enough money for this. I can't do this. Where's the money coming from? Instead of, oh, of course money's coming in. And that's where we have to change it. And that's why I have you make this list. And ridiculous as it may be, I do it all the time. And I do it when I start having the first inkling that I don't feel good about money. I begin making my list. And don't just, and there are some people that are really resistant to making a list that has nothing to do with what they do. Like I told one person, make a list, and everything on her list was exactly the thing that she does and she sells. And I said, is there not any way that you can think of money coming in a different way? Because what you've got to think about is money is energy, and energy doesn't care how you make it. Energy doesn't say, I'm going to make money for Richard by selling a retreat to Bali. Money does not, energy does not say that, in my opinion. I may be wrong. I don't believe for a second that energy micromanages our life in a way that says it's going to have to be this way. But we do that. And when we do that, we don't make money. You have to be open. And so when I started down, you know, I'd tell people I see a lot of coaches that are not making money, and they're like, have to have 5 VIP clients this month. What do you think that does to their energy? First of all, it makes them desperate, right? Makes them desperate, and that desperation shows. When you're on a call with a client and you've got to make it, that desperation shows. And I know that's why I've been far more successful than most of the lawyers I know, because they will, sometimes I see the most ridiculous cases, and you can tell that lawyer just manufactured that. I mean, that person probably came in and go, do I have a good case? They're probably like, oh yeah, because they were thinking about their car payment instead of what's best for the client. And so that's that desperation. But unfortunately, as a lawyer, I have a lot of opportunity to persuade people to do things that they maybe shouldn't do. And coaches have that same ability. And you can put somebody in this place of scarcity. And I don't want anybody to do scarcity or manipulation. I mean, I've been to seminars before where they're like, you tell people that if they don't buy from you, then they're not, you know, whatever. Don't do any of that, because I want you to really be in a place of service. And how can you help people? Get out of that place of, you have to get it from this group of people or this person or whatever, because that energy is going to follow you around. You know, you don't want that. And I always have said that, you know, the first year of PPC that I made 300,000. Well, actually, I looked at the books yesterday, 492,000 the first year. And that was not because I was in a place of begging people to join. Because I would say, people would say, would you sell me on this? And I said, no, I won't. Because I didn't try to sell anybody. Not that you shouldn't do sales, but that you shouldn't think that you have to make this thing happen. So I want you guys to, if you haven't already, and I'm going to ask you to make like a list and put it in the group. But what are some things that you could do if you haven't already done it? Just quickly think about a few things that you could do, or that how money could come in. And it might be that you could sell some furniture, clothes, CDs. I remember saying, I can sell CDs. I mean, nobody would buy that, but I wrote that down. I wrote, I could borrow money from somebody, or the lottery could come in. Pete just posted that he found out that his brother's annuities were 4 times what he thought they were going to be. And he's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, so many opportunities have come for the first group of bankers. One, Amy got a check for $9,000 for a grant she'd applied for a year and a half ago that she didn't think she was going to get. And it just came in the second month of our thing. So just stop thinking about all the ways you could have an unexpected check. You could have, like while we were doing it, I got something saying that I had gotten some life insurance from my dad, and that he died 2 years ago. And I suddenly get a letter from a life insurance thing saying, hey, you've got your dad's got a life insurance policy on you, and we're ready for you to collect it. I had no idea that that was, I mean, I think he took it out like when I was a baby. And so just think about all these possible things that could happen. You know, Richard, you're great with animals. Richard could get a job as a dog walker, or as taking animals to their vet appointments, or, you know, whatever. Think about the things that you love to do. I mean, when I went to see Oprah a few years ago, and somebody actually, because these are also when your mind goes blank, people will give you things, you'll get great discounts. I mean, people will show up so you don't have to pay things. Like at my farm, I just sit back and let people walk in the door. Oh, there's a plumber. Oh, there's a contractor. Oh, there's a, you know, and I don't even go looking for them. They just show up. And then they're like, I'll borrow, you know, there's a little guy, his name is Jesus, he's Hispanic. And he's like, he and his whole team can do drywall for, and you know, it's amazing. I mean, I just sit and let things happen. So what kind of thing, but like I said, when I went to see Oprah, she said that she makes money from doing the thing that she loved when she was a little girl. She loved going around talking to people. She talked and she talked, and everybody in her family would go, girl, you talk too much. You talk too much. And she was always just so curious and so into this. And so that's what she went and did for a living. I mean, she did something that really lit her up. And so and she said, look at what you love. Look at what you loved when you were like, I love animals. I love helping people. You know, think about all the things that you could do that could make money. And and just go far out into the realm of yes, 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 yes. And we're going to be talking about collaborations and how you can work with others. But, you know, some of the things I put down were like, I could borrow money from this person. Or Josie, who's in the first group, this is what she did. When I first taught her this years ago, she went and made like fun stories up. Like, my Aunt Bertha left me $5,000 in a coffee can underneath the bed in my mother's room, whatever, you know. And she would make it like a fun little game. And then she would tell the story and she'd be like, what if I were to find money? And that month she made more than she'd ever made coaching. That's not a coincidence because she made it fun. And what we do is we get into a place of terror, and it's not fun when it's terrorizing because you're like, oh, holy shit, how am I going to make this money? And, you know, we are so lucky. If you ever go to, I went to Egypt recently, and it's like a war-torn country. I've never seen so much poverty, and I know there's poverty everywhere, but we are so fortunate. And having gratitude for even $10, you know, I think that's another thing. My wealth doesn't come from one big retainer. It comes from a consult for $150 or a will for $175. Maybe a few consults, but it's amalgam. And so stop thinking about it has to be a big contract. It has to be this, and get into a place of, I'm so happy I made $25. Because when you're in that gratitude place, that's when things happen and when you're having fun. And that's why I make up that little song that I have. You guys know my song, right? Who? No? Okay. So my first song was, $25,000 or more, $25,000, and that's from that, you know, I think it's about beer. I'm happy with beer as well, but it's about, yeah. And then I started changing the words to, I want to be a millionaire too. I'm a millionaire, na, 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 na. So I did not put on my list a singing career. I'm not a singer, but I did write comedian, and now I'm doing stand-up at Tiffany's next workshop. And so it's going to be really funny, guys. It is really going to be funny. Richard, it's not for you. It's only for women. It's about the first time you used a sex toy. Yep. I know. It's so funny. Anyway, but so think of just, I know Debbie's like, what? Anyway, so just sometimes I say things that y'all are like, oh, Lee, did you say that? Yeah, I did. So just think about totally out of the box. What is something that you could do? I tell you, Leslie Wexler is so talented. And this is another thing that you got to do. You've got to say what you do. I had somebody say, I don't want to tell anybody what I do. Well, for God's sakes, how's anybody going to know? If you don't tell them what you do, if you don't share your talents, then people won't know. And I think that was Margaret, and she was like, but I don't feel comfortable telling people what I can do. Well, you're going to have to get over that, because if we don't share our talents, our gifts, our abilities, then nobody will know. And if you just sit around thinking to yourself, I know I can do this behind your computer screen, what do you think the universe sees? Do you think the universe knows that you're not playing Candy Crush? Because I don't. I think if you're sitting behind your computer all day thinking that money is going to miraculously fly in and not doing anything else, then the universe does not see, and you're not moved. So Allison goes, I love this because it made me take massive action. Because I see coaches just sitting around and posting in one Facebook group, or posting a sales call in another Facebook group, or posting here, I've got this in a group where nobody knows them, and then going, well, I didn't make any money last month. I've done everything I can possibly think of. I didn't make any money. You sat in front of the computer and made a few posts, and you expect to make money. No. And I know that Debbie does tons of stuff. So, and you know, I don't have anybody in mind when I say what I'm talking about. Well, I do have somebody in mind because I know in this other group, but I mean, because she told me this is what, I know what she does, and I see what's happening. And then I'm like, but you can't expect, if you're not taking action, you have to be constantly moving in the universe. And I'm not teaching anything Mike Dooley doesn't teach. I'm just teaching it in my unique way. I'm pretty sure Mike Dooley would never talk about sex toys. Wouldn't talk about it. I'm much more fun than Mike, I think. Anyway, but yeah, but I think that we have to be taking action. And he says it doesn't even have to be the action that leads to the thing. Because, during the time that I've been in this course, I've got the reality show, The Headless Bride, So I have that came up totally out of the blue. Totally. I did nothing to get that, which is amazing. The guy just found me out of the blue, sent me an email. I've got a television opportunity for you. I was like, this has got to be a sales call. But no, he's like, I looked him up. He's totally legit. He's like, you know, we'll talk about compensation and when you're coming out to film, you know, in a few weeks. I mean that, and then I got an opportunity to work with a digital marketer in Malaysia who was the content creator for Mind Valley. I did nothing to get that. And then somebody told me that they would help me fund that. And then I asked my investor for 20,000 and he gave me 100. So I didn't do anything for those things to happen. So when you get into that place of flow and when your mind goes blank, things are just going to start happening. Now they may not be to that extreme because your vibration is not there yet. Because now my vibration is, I'm going to make 2 million this year. And I don't even doubt it. I don't even doubt it. And I look at the books and I'm at like 1.467 the last time we looked. I'm on track. I mean, that is huge. 3 years ago, I was making 368 at my law office. So think about where you are and, you know, don't worry about how long it takes because we've got all the time in the world. And if you put a lot of stress on yourself, then you're only going to prevent the flow of money coming in. That's all you're doing. And we've just got to keep thinking about it. And I want you to like look around and see that money is freaking everywhere. There are people making money doing all sorts of things everywhere. And so when you sit and think, oh, I can't make any money. I had somebody say to me in the last group, I haven't made, she said, I've made only $500 in the last year. There's money everywhere. So don't say, I can't make any money. Yes, you can. If you don't choose to go get a job, and you don't have to get a job, or if you don't choose to do something different, or if you don't choose to, that's your choice. So when you say those things, you're just limiting and limiting and limiting, right? I mean, I've worked 3 jobs. Right now, if I didn't have money, I'd go get a job. I have 3 businesses now. I'm not saying that's the best thing for everybody, but I'm saying if you don't have enough money and you're completely like, this is what I'm doing, damn it. Well then, okay, that's your choice. But if you want to change your money story, then stop. You have to change. You've got to change. And when I first started writing about this, I was like, I'm going to ask you to do assignments. I'm going to ask you to do this, to do that. And you don't have to do any of it because it's totally your choice. But when I got serious about it, and the reason I make the money I make is because I pay attention to it and I do this work. And that's why I'm teaching you to do the work, because this is the way I used to be. I didn't even know. I would be like, how much money do we make this week? I didn't even know. How many of you pay attention to how much you make every week? Debbie, you do? No? You do? No? Yeah. I mean, a lot of us, and if you're a wage earner, then you know, obviously. But I didn't pay any attention. But Debbie, are you doing it from a place of like worry and fear? Yeah. So I would be like totally oblivious to what was coming in. I wasn't paying any attention. And Karen Boswell, so cute, last week she goes, I set a goal, and I'm doing the wrong accent. I can't do her accent. Anyway, she said, I set a goal, and I actually came really close. And I said, I've been telling you, I know. So you have to have some sort of I want you to start thinking about that first number. Now, I'll tell you, Linda, who did really well, Linda Simmons, I don't know which one it is. She said, I want to make double what I make each week. In the first week, I think it was $25. Then the next week, it was more than double. And the next week, and the last time that we had talked, she was up to 800. She started at 25. So think about, is it an extra $100? Tiffany only said, I think hers is only like, I want to make an extra $600. Whatever that is, don't let that, and don't think, well, my number's so low, because people would be really apologetic. My number's really low. It doesn't matter. because it's all where we are. We have to start. I really want you to start where you are, because if you put yourself into this place that I have to make this much, then you're just going to get so freaked out if it's not happening. Because you have to be in a place of fun. Think of your own song. Think of your own, you know, mine, or I have a variety of songs that I make everybody a bit crazy here with. There's one called, it's by those Savages, or 21 Savage. I know it's just one Savage. And it's like, how much money you got? A lot. How many hoes you, yeah, I mean, anyway, I won't say it all. Anyway, but it's like a whole bunch of gangster stuff. But the first one is, how much money I got? A lot. And I just say that one. I just go, how much money I got? A lot. How much money I got? A lot. They're making fun of me in the office. Yesterday, somebody goes, I guess this is not a good time to say how much money I got. A lot. And I'm like, no, it's not. I get to say it. You don't get to use it against me. But so think of something that you think is fun, that makes you happy, that makes you smile. You have to lighten up your money story. Because right now, like, I don't doubt anymore. I don't think about how's the money going to come and what's going to happen, whatever. I just know it's just going to come, and you can get there. Now, it's a process, and it's not something you have to do overnight, next week, over the course of the month. It's something that you will grow into. But I'm going to give you exactly what I did, and what I'll do also. And this, Charlie, my coach, is always like, I have never seen a money coach that doesn't have a fancy house or like a shiny car in the background. And I'm like, that's not what I care about. I care about serving the world. And that's another thing that I'll talk to you about, is that when you get out of your own way and think about what's your bigger vision for the world, then that's when the money's going to come in, because it's such a higher vibration. And he recently told me this, and I loved it. He said that if you look at the people who want to serve themselves, they'll make enough money to serve themselves. They'll make it. They'll take care of themselves. And if you look at the family, they'll take care, most of the time, they'll take care of their family. Most of the time. Then if they want to take care of the community, they'll make a little more money. They're the community leaders. They want to take care of their state, they'll make a little more money. If they want to take care of their country, they'll make a little more money. They want to take care of the world. They want to take care of outside the world, like Sir Richard Branson, Elon Musk. Who are the wealthiest people in the world? They're the people who want to serve on the biggest scale. Think about that. That's not a coincidence. So when we are in our office or house thinking about how we're going to take care of ourselves, we are limiting ourselves. Because if you have this broader vision of taking care of the world, the universe will respond to that. I thought that was amazing when he told me that, because I totally got it. Totally understood. You know, look at Oprah or Bill Gates, or, you know, they want to serve the world, and they're just, I mean, they're massively wealthy. And those things are related. And everybody that has served the world on this massive way, I don't know who's here that I didn't notice. Sorry. Well, that's fine. You know, they have money behind them. And so that's another thing. If you feel guilty because you're a heart-centered entrepreneur, you know, stop, because your money, my money, goes to serving the world. And you don't have to do that, but that's why I think you're here. I mean, when somebody said, we want to market this course to the public, and I said, no, I only want to market it to heart-centered entrepreneurs, because that's the people that I want to help. You know, I want to help heart-centered entrepreneurs who want to serve the world, serve more people. And you can't serve more people if you're worried about how you can afford your next meal. Not that I think any of you are there, but we have to be in a space of abundance and feeling good about money. So that's kind of like the first piece. Now, does anybody, an attendee that I can't figure out how to make you a panelist, can't figure this out. I'm sorry, attendee. It's all it says is attendee. Does anybody have questions or things they'd like to say or ask, so I can kind of keep in mind? This is just the first step. I'm going to be writing some stuff in the group. I'm going to pop in a lot. Don't worry if you miss a live stream, because I don't schedule them. I just show up whenever I want to, and whenever an idea comes to me. And I get very excited about this whole thing. And so sometimes I just will pop in and say, okay, this and this and this. I'll share with you like my list, and I'll share with you some weeks, you know, this is my goal for the week. And, you know, even if it doesn't go all the way, like if I say I need 31, and I still am grateful, you know, stay grateful wherever you are. It's a process. It's totally a process. Because if you make, in fact, let me tell you this. So I have a receptionist, and I was gone. Was I gone last week? I think it was gone last week. Whenever I was gone, I said, we need to make, no, I think it was out of the, anyway, I said, we need to make 21. On Friday afternoon, she sends me a text message, and we'd made over the amount we had to make. And she was so proud. I didn't even, I mean, this was her. This was me sharing with her. I wasn't even here. And the collective, and that's why we're in this together. And in the other group, people are super supportive, and a lot of people have come on because we're going to be asking each other to share, to help, to collaborate, to be open, to be supportive, to be loving, to give, to think about how you can help the other people, to be in a place of service, because that's how we're all going to make more money, and to be in a collective space of celebrating each other, in a collective space of helping each other reach our goals, and being like, we're going to do this together. We're going to do this. And that's my vision for us all, that we're going to get to a place. And I can say that everybody that's been participating in my first group has said that they, like somebody said, I could never, ever pay you enough money. And this has been worth $10,000 to me, because I will never look at money the same. And that's what I want for you, to just, as simple as the things are, it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be strict or ruly, because I'm not like that. I mean, it's just I want it to be fun, and I want it to be a place of just, you know, transforming the way that you look at money and your relationship with money the rest of your life. Because I come back to it all the time. Whenever I'm in a space of, you know, I come back to the same things, the same, you know, and it's not to say that we don't have occasional times when we're feeling down or feeling low or feeling like it's not going to happen. That's fine. But you just get through it instead of getting down on yourself and letting that become your story. So does anybody have anything the last like 10 minutes? Questions? Comments? Sex toy story? Just kidding. Anybody? No? If you guys, oh, Richard, okay. I'm trying to unmute you, okay.
Yeah. Hey, Lee. Hi, everyone. Yeah, I signed up last class, and I wasn't able to attend the live class as much because of my full-time job, so I'm excited about this opportunity. But I must say, just even before the class started with the assignment that Lee gave, that opened up my mind to a different way of thinking that I had never really thought about. And I'm an infinite possibilities trainer as well with Mike Dooley, but what Lee offered was just amazing. And I know some people joined where we were talking in the Americas call. Linda and I were so excited. It's just, like Lee's saying, is a mindset. And I go at my own pace, I guess, with this. And I know Lee's probably like, Richard, just host a retreat at your home or do something, you know. But all this stuff is in the works. And I was just in San Diego last week, and I did a meditation. I went to a new beach I hadn't been to, and I was sharing this a little bit on the America's call last night. And Nikki, I've got to say, I got to interrupt myself. Nikki did the most amazing money manifesting, abundance manifesting meditation last night. I'm ready to buy it. I want the CD, the visual, everything, and she's putting it together. But I just asked her if she'd do a meditation for the call. And she said, yes, I'd be happy to. What do you want me to talk about? I was like, whatever you want to do. And this is what she did. It was so amazing. I didn't realize when she finished that she had written that word for word for our call last night. And she cut it short because I told her 5 minutes. Like, oh no, you can go. Well, my excitement was about 15 minutes after her meditation. And so anyway, she's going to produce it, and it'll be great for this group. But
good.
Yeah, but what the thing was, I'm reading a book to Lee Harris, Energy Speaks. And the chapter I was reading at the beach last week was Loving Money. And Lee, it ties real close to your concept, just a little different perspective. And, you know, that's good for us to do. But I was sitting there at the beach, and I was supposed to focus in this meditation in the distance on a light, bright, shiny light. Well, like I'm looking the ocean, I'm looking on the beach. Is there a little puddle of water there in the sand? I couldn't figure it out until I realized what my vision was the break in the waves. That was white and shiny. It was overcast. And so that's supposed to come closer. Well, there was a rock on the beach, and here it is.
Oh,
Rocks. Lee knows I love rocks. I could see that.
I sent Leslie's husband's book to Richard. Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, yes, you did. Because people know me. I love rocks. I give rocks away and all this stuff. So anyway, the meditation and the wave came closer, and I let that rock represent me in my meditation, represent me, and the waves were coming in, and it washed over the rock. Like this abundance came to me, and then it washed away. It's like, and how many times we get money come to us, or abundance? And abundance is not just money. Abundance comes in many ways, like a free workshop.
Right.
Michelle and I got recently. And free parking and a free meal. So it came, and then it came, and it was higher. But Lee, I had to scream out loud. I was just so blown away with this visual that I don't think I'll ever forget. And I've got this up here on my desk, because it wasn't just a point of light coming to me. It was the ocean as wide as I could see on both sides and the distance. And it's like, oh my gosh, the abundance that is available to me from the universe is absolutely endless. If you just think sitting on the beach and watching the waves, we can't see the whole big ocean, but it was massive. And it's that thing, exact thing what Lee's saying, open up your thinking, because we don't know all the ways it can come. So
No.
anyway, I'm just so excited about that visual, and I just want to share it. Thanks for listening.
No, it's great. I love that.
Yeah.
Leslie?
I just wanted to say that it's funny, before I took this class, I started writing in this book about all the stuff that was coming in, and I really resonated with what you said, because I used to focus on what's going out. And while I'm still not there, I'm trying to shift. And I also wanted to say, you're right about the whole not talking about what you do for a living. I don't know where that came from with me. I think everything used to fall in my lap, and then things kind of changed and shifted, and I didn't know how to do that. Like, I didn't know how to speak about what I did. So thanks for that. And that's really all I wanted to say. I'm working on it. So.
Well, that's all we can do is just work on how to, work on, I mean, it's a process. I mean, that's fine. That's good. And we have to just be aware of what we're doing. And the only reason I put all this together was because finally I did it all, and it wasn't like I planned it. It was just like, I was desperate to make more money. I was desperate. I had to figure out how to make money. And so out of that desperation, I started using the tools that I had learned in Infinite Possibilities. I started putting all those tools together, and then came up with the process that I use now. But it wasn't like it happened overnight. It was something that I learned through, and then I just kept refining and doing more of, and figuring out more, and making up some more ridiculous songs, until we're here. But, and Nikki thought of some things, like she's going to start doing the telesummits for PPC, and she had never thought about that. She's such a great organizer, and she's an educator, and she's leaving her teaching profession, and she is going to put together the telesummits, and people are going to pay a little bit, but that's going to be a way for her to create revenue and to help everybody else build their subscriber list. And so it's such a, keep thinking about, how can I help other people? How can I help other people? You'll see, you'll figure it out, Nikki.
And Lee, I got my 4 expert speakers. So
Good.
To go, it's Rock Your Dream Biz, Step Up, Stand Out, and Seize Your Destiny. So that's the title, and we're all excited about
Good.
it.
And I've already noticed that people have been, this is not the right topic for me, but can I help another time? So I would go ahead and start next time go ahead and start, and you can book ahead. You can,
Yeah.
you know, you can book ahead, and then then they can package it, and you can sell it for them, and then you can get a portion of all the price. I mean, there's so many things, and we'll be going over business ideas. And I have to say, I am very good with business ideas. It's like I channel, you know, Steve Jobs, maybe nicer. But I'm totally, you know, so as we talk, you know, I'll come up with ideas for everybody. Anybody else? Corinne?
Yeah, so I had a shift overnight because yesterday when I started writing about what I was going to do to make money, of course I'm a writer, so everything was writing, right? Or I was like, yeah, I could cook for people, but it was like a very narrow focus of things that I know how to do. And this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh, well, I could be a QVC host. I could take people on tours of sacred sites around the world. I could, you know, have my own talk show. It was like, oh yes, and by the way, I'm a storyteller, so this should be fun. And I think that's such a big piece of it. Like, I love what you said about Josie with the coffee can of money under the bed. It's just, it needs to be fun. And I find that, you know, when I'm in that space of I can just relax, even like relax and do nothing, like when you do that, stuff comes in. And it's like in the past, I used to feel guilty, like, oh, I'm not doing something. I should be doing something to make money. I should be being productive right now. And it's like, no, like look around. I'm in Florida now. There's no 2 feet of snow on my deck anymore. That's because I just relaxed and went with what came. So.
And I just had an idea for both you or Nikki. One, you know, it's summer, it may be too late, but go to the local library and ask them if you can offer a class. Like you could go and teach kids about storytelling, or teach kids about writing, or teach them to write a story. And I know Nikki's done a lot of research on intuition and on things for children. The two of you should talk. And I think because Nikki could also do, like, I think that lots of parents are looking for things to entertain their children. So summer camps, you know, say, can I come to a summer camp and maybe charge $10, $15 per child, $10 per child? You got 30 kids, you got, you know, I'm terrible at math. But anyway, I know, I'm like, how much is that? Mathematician is not on the list. But I mean, there are so many ways. You know, Leslie could teach kids about creativity. Leslie does a dream catcher workshop. She could go teach kids how to do dream. There's so many things, because I see now people coming in, especially like if they have their kids for the summer and they're not the custodial, they have no idea what to do with them. None. And they're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my kids while, you know, so if you come up with some offerings in the library, preschools, all different places that you could do things. And I think the reading and writing, like I was such a little reader when I was a kid that I was in all the summer reading programs, but teaching them how to write stories, I think that's such a good idea. But just think outside of the box, because again, it's about just being open and letting all, and just be open to the idea that money is just energy, and not that it's got to come like this. It's just energy. It's just like everywhere. Money's just everywhere. Anybody else? Geraldine? Oh, wait. Hold on. I'm trying to unmute you. Can you unmute yourself?
Am I there?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Anyway, when you gave us our little homework assignment, I thought, okay, sit down and just clear your head, what's left of it. I took out a sheet of paper, I wrote down a bunch of stuff, and it came up with to develop a new company.
Okay.
I've been out of work since last December, and I've had no luck trying to find, you know, a job. And I thought, why don't you do what you already know? And so that's what I did. So the new company is Herbs to Be.
Good.
Herbs with a number 2 and a letter B. I was trying not to compete with the cannabis industry.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, the idea is about going to the library, and it's going to be a seed company. So it's high quality organic seeds.
That's a great idea.
Kids can grow that. People can grow that. It's easy for me to do, you know, and maybe it'll generate some income. And then with that, then I would need a book to explain things. So I would have to write a book on herbs, to explain about the seed process and make it fun.
Yeah, and I hate to interrupt you. I just read an article on my phone, I think, about all these different plants that are good for your health.
Yeah.
And talking about having lavender plants in your room, and that would be a really good, like, to do some searches on that kind of thing. And
Yeah.
you could curate that, and then you could use it and you could sell it to companies as a little package.
Yeah, and that's all stuff I'm going to need when I get to that point.
Yeah.
And I thought about making a little seed pods too. Those are handy gift ideas,
Yep.
that kind of a thing. So
Yeah, and you
Yeah,
can sell that at all kinds of places.
yeah, so that worked real well for me, and it got me thinking in a direction where I was zoned in on something else that just wasn't coming to fruition. Then this kind of made me change direction. And when I started talking to some of my friends about that, they all said to me, "Well, it's about time."
I think it's a great idea.
So
You could help people do their herb garden. There's lots of things you could do.
yeah.
So I would hire somebody like that, because I have no clue how to put together an herb garden. If somebody put it together for me and brought it to me, that'd be good. I don't know how to do it. So I think there's tons of things you can do with that. So just expand your mind around the initial concept.
Right.
How many things could you do with that one initial concept?
True.
Okay, and then just be sure and post in the group. Okay, anybody else? Nikki, you wanted to say something else?
Oh, I was just going to say that because I did the first round with you, and I was kind of attached to money looking like actual money. And what I learned was that I had to start just looking at even opportunities that could lead to money as money already coming my way.
Yep.
So even yesterday I was at the beauty supply getting some just skincare products, and I got up to the register and it was $53. And then I handed her these coupons, and then it went down to 40, and I go, I just made $13, and
Right.
is it physical? Is it in my pocket? Not really, but it's just changing your whole mindset around money. It's like $13 made, and then I wrote it down, even though it's something small. So
Yeah, that's great.
because I ended up manifesting $10,778 in 11 days. And at first I said, but it didn't come from my business. It came from my family. It came from a Delta Dental reimbursement check. But money is money. So it's like, stop putting it into those containers, making it be like money has to come from work. It's just energy. And now that I've opened up to that, it's starting to flow.
And that's exactly the same thing, when people talk about manifesting your mate. And I think Mike talked, if you think, oh, they have to be 6'2", and they have to have dark hair, and they have to have blue eyes, and then, look how you're limiting the universe. It's exactly the same when you're saying all the money has to come in and we can see it easier, because you're like, oh, well, that sure is limiting the universe. But why don't you think you're limiting when you go, I have to make money from being a coach and having 3 VIP clients? That's just as fucking limiting. It's just as limiting. Why don't we see that? Why don't we see that? I don't get why we don't, understand that if we just look at it as energy, we just let it come in. And if we try to make it this, then it's not going to come. And like Linka, who's, she's self-made, started at McDonald's, and is a 7-figure coach. She has so many different things, NLP, little courses on this, little courses on that, VIP, retreat workshop. She does so many different things, working one-on-one, she doesn't just let money come in one way. It's just however. Debbie, you have something? No. Yes, no. Leslie?
I just wanted to say that I think that the problem I have, I'm such a creative that I have a million things I can do. I have so many things I can do. And in fact, somebody said something to me the other day, like, pick 3.
Said what?
And it's hard. Pick 3, because that's where I get stuck. Like, because I know it takes work to do it, the things that I want to do. And so how do I cut my list down and say, okay, let's use these skills that I have and see what feels easier right now. It's one of the things that I think I feel a lot of joy with is writing. So Corinne's helped me with that a lot. And I just don't know why I have to own I'm a writer, right?
You're a great writer. Great writer.
So I just wanted to say that I think that's where my trouble is that, and just feeling about some of the things I do can receive money. Like I do a lot of stuff that I never get money for. Does that make sense?
We need to change that. That's another lesson.
Yeah, those are my blocks. That's all.
Okay, and we have a call soon. In fact, now, so I'll see you in just a minute. Anybody else? Debbie? Oh, unmute yourself, please. Okay.
I was trying to find that button earlier and I couldn't because anyway. I think my aha moment today was that the focus has been that, I set a goal, but then I end up within that goal, my subconscious goes off into the ways that it's not coming in. So then that's what's spinning me out of control.
Mm-hmm.
That's one piece of it. So that was a big aha moment on the call. And then setting a goal that's too high that my vibration can't rise up to it to meet it and then build on it versus, putting something out there, breaking it down to monthly. Like I've done all that stuff. I've done all that big coaching. That's not what I need. Somehow I'm really good at manifesting. I'm really good at keeping my in flow, but then I sabotage myself somehow. So there's a disconnect with that. And I know a lot of that has to do with, I know my husband makes a great income, but I don't look at that as me creating that income because he's creating that income. So for me, I'm discounting it. So I need some clarity around that.
Okay. Well, I'm looking forward to helping everybody.
Great.
Okay. So guys, I'm going to wrap it up and I will see you next week. I'm going to fix the Zoom. I don't know what the heck happened. I don't know because everybody's like, it's 3 a.m. in the UK. I don't even know how that happened, but I'll fix that. As soon as I can get Pete over here to get the recording up, I'll have the recording up. I am doing a digital course as well. And so you guys will get the digital course that will have modules and all kinds of different things. So you're going to get it in a much more, easily digestible, not having to listen to all my stories. Stories are fun, but you're going to get it in a different way as well. So don't worry. And I will for sure, and Nikki can tell you, offer you as much value as I possibly can, and help as much as I possibly can, because that's the way that I make so much money, is by helping as many people as I can. So I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you next week. I'll be in the group a lot, and attendee, I'm sorry that I never was able to bring you on. So talk soon, guys.
Thank you.
Bye. Leslie, I need 5 minutes.